Hi everyone out there. This is Seddeek and Abe. Fantastic. We are actually excited because we have figured out a way for a lot of experts out there. People like myself, because I've been working with Abe here to really kind of launch my own platform online and get a lot of content, high quality content out at a much faster pace. I think a lot of people struggle with getting their message out, whether you are a best-selling author or an expert in your field, or you have a message that you're trying to get out, and you are really facing a lot of confusion and difficulty around how to get that message out. You know, you hear a lot of things about social media. You hear people talk about a lot of tools, and I think it is definitely overwhelming for many of us. And I think it's a combination that I have found that's working for me with Abe here in the picture, because he's a producer. He brings a lot of social media expertise to the table, as well as also video production and really creating content that resonates with the target audience. We will be launching this as a service to help other experts out there and other speakers, people who have books that they have written, they have expertise that they want to share with the world, to really go through the stage of multiplying the impact and the effect they have on their target audience. So we basically will help you, number one, to create high quality content much more quickly, help you with the launch and the broadcast of that content to your target audience, and then work with you on productizing this content so that you can start to see your content being an evergreen product that is available for your audience. And you can then start selling that content either as DVDs, audio programs, audio books, for example, or an online course through a course website, where you then end up giving people a username and password. You can charge them for that course as a one-time fee, or you can decide to charge them a monthly subscription fee, and then layer on top of that some other value-added services such as Q&As that you do with them, masterminds, one-on-one coaching, or group coaching. And then the nice thing of working with Abe and his team is that you'll actually see us really bring a 360 view of how you can monetize that content, and make sure that your social media presence has ongoing content that's being produced, and that you're interacting with your audience on an ongoing basis. So Abe, if you can maybe just tell people your experience so far with Discover Sacramento, and I think it sort of uncovered for you the power of making use of social media tools, especially also with audiences of different age groups. You're able to sort of figure out where they congregate on the web, and what tools that they are using, and then you're able to then come back and think about your social media strategy based on those tools.
So when I started Discover Sacramento, my main struggle was getting in front of people and actually having an influence.
Yes.
So a lot of times businesses will come out, they'll create an Instagram page or a Facebook page and think that by posting, they're going to have an influence or an impact on people.
Yes.
But that's not true. I found that to be not true at all. What doing social media and being on social media and learning about social media and how it works has taught me is you need to have an influence. You need to be present with the people. You need to engage with people.
Yes.
And you need to always be on top of their feed.
It's almost like a 24/7
It's a 24/7
machine that you need to be running.
Yeah.
Which I think I find difficult, and I think a lot of people watching, especially experts out there, consultants, authors, and more or less sort of gurus in their fields. We're if you think about us, we're much more used to thinking about our expertise area, and we just want to get that expertise out. And then social media comes over to our world and says you need to be on 24/7. That's exhausting.
It is.
So how do you handle that now with your business?
So with Discover Sacramento, how I handle this is, first of all, we manage content for a lot of businesses, a lot of major brands in Sacramento.
Yes.
And the way we do this is we sit down with the business, and we pretty much just map out what their business model is about. What is the brand about? How are they trying to make people feel? And then we draw content around the emotions that they're trying to evoke.
Yes.
So if the business is about food, then we highlight food, the food experience. We don't necessarily focus on the product. We don't necessarily focus on the whatever they have to offer, the discount. We focus on the user experience. We focus on the dining experience. You know, so we capture a lot of faces. It's just the power of capture, the power of content.
Yes, exactly.
So you know, like by posting an ad that's going to say, you know, come half a pound for 99 cents isn't going to go as far as having a you know, a millennial or having a person actually having a person actually, you know, show his face trying the sandwich or trying the shrimp or trying the food.
Yes.
That's going to go a lot further than just, you know, saying this, come get a discount.
Yeah.
So that's the secret of social media, is actually influencing people through emotion. So moving them through emotions, like showing them pictures of the cool things that they can check out.
Yes. And I realized from working with you, and I'm thinking about my own content, that I've seen you coach me in terms of trying to think about what those emotions are and really talk to the person, essentially what their pains are, what solutions you're trying to create. And I think what we want to say to people watching, again, especially experts and speakers and authors of books that they have published, is the fact that you know, when we are working together, you and I, and we're basically helping Ash get his platform launched, we're looking at how we can get content fast enough, but at the same time, really thinking about what impact we are helping our audience with.
Yeah.
You know, if they are trying, like in my case, if they're trying to launch a business and get started, and they're trying to work through limiting beliefs or long-held theories about what it takes to actually get launched. You know, I talk about how they don't need to have degrees, they don't need to have so many different things, and I focus more on the desire.
Yeah.
And what I actually want people listening us to understand is that that's exactly the same kind of work we will do with them. We will try to understand the impact that they are trying to create for their target audience and what their target audience is working through. And then we come back from there and help them think about what products, what online courses, what messages, what coaching programs, masterminds that need to be created. And then working with Abe and his team, we then help them get launched in a very short period of time. So within 30 to 60 days, anyone who will be working with Abe and myself will get their platform launched on the web. And then after those 60 days are over, then they will need to start about how they need to more or less establish a 24/7 mechanism that will market their content, drive traffic to their content, drive consumption to their content, and then all the different ways of monetizing that content, right? Because I think a lot of people listening in, you know, they can sit down and tweet something, they can sit down and do something with Facebook, but you know, jump starting things that way is not really getting them to where they want to go. And I think it is a consistent plan that you have showed me, you built for me. You started out by number one, trying to think about what is Ash's platform, who is his audience, what kind of messaging we want to send. Then we came back and we started thinking about how we can create content. And then now we're thinking about how do we then create some metrics, some certain goals, how many followers on Facebook, what kind of engagements we want to have. And then eventually, how do we get to a point where we monetize that content? When you look at that 24/7 machine, what are some of the elements that will be in that machine so that people listening understand this is what Abe and his team will do for us on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and a monthly basis? Maybe a little bit of a background and some detail behind that.
So depending on the package, of course, that's going to determine how intense of content distribution we're going to be showing. So if, you know, so with the starting package, it's just we're going to be active on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're going to be sharing other people's content too. So if you're a motivational speaker, we're going to be sharing content from motivational speakers, and motivational pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, you know, we're just going to keep content flowing through the page just so that people can, because what we're really trying to do is we're trying to distract people from with content and bring them to the page.
Yes.
And once they come to the page, that's when they discover content that is native to you.
Yes.
You know, content that you've created as a speaker.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea, because then also it kind of lessens the responsibility I have myself to create content.
Yeah.
So you're really kind of mixing a number of content sources, the expert's content, like in this case, Ash's content. And then in addition to that, you're basically saying content that is relevant and similar to the same kind of content that Ash is producing, so that we can then push it out to the audience, the relevant audience, that Ash believes wants to hear his message. And based on that relevant content and relevant audience, you start building that following on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
And then I remember you telling me that depending on the message you're sending out, we need to look at the demographic and the profile of that end user. And maybe they are congregating on Instagram, or maybe they're congregating on Facebook. And then you start making decisions on which tools to use.
Yeah.
And what messages to send. I think, we're going to wrap it up so that the video itself is not too long, but I think the key message we want to send to people is, based on the capacity Abe has and my own capacity, we're probably going to be looking for about maybe a maximum of 10 clients to start with. And again, if you're an expert, an author, a speaker out there who's looking to get started very quickly, we have figured out how to get this done very quickly. And then within 30 to 60 days, you're out in the marketplace, you have a product, whether that's an online course or membership website or coaching program. And then after that, we work together with you to then think about what that 24/7, 365 days a year plan to make sure that your followers, the attention you're getting, does not taper off, but rather actually gets that its own crescendo, and you have an ongoing following and you have an ongoing way of monetizing that content. So definitely click like, share the video with other authors and experts, and also reach out to us to engage us in the conversation. I think we'll be tapped to the last minute we have per day very, very soon.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, listening. Abe, thank you again for watching, being here with me, and I look forward to working with you and the people that sign up with us.